Hello, my friends and family. I thought I'd do a recap right quick on the finishing touches of the dehydration of my paprika, how I get to that point. And it starts off with I actually bought this inexpensive little coffee grinder from Walmart. This thing does more than just coffee. So what I've done is I finished dehydrating. This took overnight, and you can hear how it's really crunchy and brittle. This is what point you need to get to turn it into powder. I then take it from here, and I'll just add a little at a time inside my coffee grinder. Now I won't do this whole process because it will get loud. I'll cap it off right here, and then just push this button or press down on it on the side until it turns into powder, and I'll show you what the after effects look like in just a minute. As you see here in the finishing touch of the grinding of all the paprika, we now have literally powdered paprika. It started from a simple seed, planted in the ground, patience in growing, producing the fruit, dehydrating it, and powdering it. Guarantee you this costs far less than what you can buy at the grocery store. The other part of this I will show you is the finishing touches that I did on my canning session with you about canning the salsa verde. It is now 24 hours later, and this is what we have. What I usually do to make sure before I put these on my shelf is I will remove these rings, just like so. I don't, like I've told you before, I don't store my canned goods with the rings because it's safer to know that if these lids within a year or two should pop off, then I know that I'm not getting a false seal and grab something that can turn out very bad. So I avoid that. To make sure that they are good and sealed, I will also grab the edges of the lids, slightly pick up, and if it sticks, that's good and sealed. It's ready to be washed and put on my shelf. And that goes for both of them. So we have a good seal, and we're ready for the pantry to be stored. Here in a moment, I'm going to spend some what I call sup at my table time with you, and I will see you in just a few. Hello, my friends. I decided that I will call these sessions, we won't have too many of these, but occasionally I will. Have moments with sup at my table, have our coffee, and have a heart-to-heart or real homestead talk. I'll introduce myself just a bit. As you know, and as you've seen from my videos, I am far from professional. I appreciate you hanging in there with me as I learn and grow. I will over time, just like I learned how to do this homesteading. A brief introduction to help you understand who I am, why I'm doing this, how it doesn't come easy for me, but I can relate to so many out here. And this is the reason why I chose to be real with you. In the year 2000, I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. Radiation took a toll on me, and I ended up still alive. I'm in remission, but it came with repercussions, and I have flaws. From there, I've grown to learn food. I always wanted to be a chef, and I learned how to take food and make it work for me because I knew there had to be something healthier. I didn't quite get on that track just yet, but in time I learned. In the year about 2010, my husband had a heart attack, and again, there was that signal telling me something needs to change. I definitely did not grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. We grew up hard, and I watched my mom create meals from nothing. She would take a carcass of a turkey and turn it into an amazing broth or a soup. And it amazed me what she did, and it started me on the adventure of food. Me and my husband at this point, we decided that something in our life needed to change. We actually took care of 5 children. 2 were of our own. 3, they were custody from family, and it was hard. It was really hard. We were never made of money, and trying to raise 5 kids, feed them, and they were all boys, and they could eat you out of house and home. I started more into homemaking food, and I found that it was inexpensive ways of feeding my kids, and it was working. And I started thinking, it took me years to realize that these were pieces of puzzles in my life to get me where I'm at right now. We eventually got into trucking, owned our own rig, or tried to own our own rig. We were on the plan of buying one as we worked, and it was really, really rough. It's brutal out there. There wasn't very much healthy foods, and I learned from that point how to cook even gourmet food on a rig. I got recognized at one point because it was different, and I tried to teach other drivers at a point to how you can cook healthier on your truck. Through the process of 5 years, and it was 5 long years, we struggled so much. We ended up paying that rig off, and we found this place in a little small town in Mississippi, a 1-bedroom rundown house that was abandoned. It was gutted out, and this became our tiny home. We eventually sold our rig, got off the road, and we own this with just nothing but 0.34 acres of land. That's it. I started getting into finding out rules and regulations of our area, and with all the struggles that me and my husband had gone through, we started considering homesteading. I did some researching on it, and I found that there are a lot of homesteaders. They have so much land, and I thought, well, Lord, how are we going to do this? So I started doing what we could. We started out with the land and seeds, found our land was really bad. From there, it took us 4 years so far. We've changed to raised beds, grow pots, you name it. We're still trying. We're not perfect at this. We're still working at it. We would get manure from barns, and we've had good seasons, we've had bad seasons. In the year 2020, on October 1st, me and my husband set out to go deer hunting, and this is where my life changed forever at this point. And it helped lead me to where I'm at now. We went to go check our deer cams, see the process of how everything was going, and I wound up being shot. And I am nothing but a miracle here. I am a woman of faith, I will let you know that. I will never, ever force my beliefs or my faith on anybody. All I can do is tell you my testimony. The 9mm bullet entered this way through my stomach, went clear across on the inside, out this way, and caught my wrist when I grabbed my stomach. I don't know why I'm here, and I had asked, what is my purpose? And putting all the years of my life together in a puzzle, it seems my purpose is here, right here with you, being real. Flaws and all, I had very low self-esteem. I never thought somebody like me could even be here doing this with you. I am so far unprofessional with technology. I have no profession in basically anything. Where my life is pure experience. And the one thing I know the best is survival and experience in hardships and how to get through those. My homesteading, and you will learn this, is inexpensive as much as we possibly can be. We have been blessed to be able to continue to do what we're doing, and I feel like those blessings were passed to me to be able to share again with you, to teach you, to help you make it in life. Big families, small families, the times we live in, it just seems to get harder and harder. So anything, why I mentioned doing for ourselves, matters. It matters a lot. Whether you hit a sale, whether you make it for yourself, whether I can help you get through to be able to put food on your shelves, food on your table, inexpensive seasonings. It's a process I will take you, and I plan on sucking this up like a buttercup, even with all my flaws. my insecurities. I'm going to step out being the imperfect person that I am and reach out to try to help you ease some of that struggle that you're going through. Parton's Heritage Homestead comes with a lot of heart, and I will just tell you, my heart is there for each and every one of you. I love spending these moments with you. I do not tell my story as a testimony for poor me. I tell you my testimony because through everything in life that we have been through, everything in life that we do, it has made me stronger and has made me better. Recently we found my husband now has diabetes. So this became even more beneficial to us than it had ever been. Living a homesteading life put us in a world of a Mediterranean style to put fresh fruit and vegetables and things where we can moderate what we put on our table and in our bodies. Don't let anybody tell you that homesteading has to be this grand land, farm. I used to think that, and when I decided to take this entire land, and I will tell you, this did not come easy. We didn't have a pot to pee in when we bought this place. We worked hard to get to where we're at. We took opportunities. When we got our taxes, we would take our taxes instead of going on trips or anything like that. We would invest into our land, turning it into a homestead, year after year, working with what little we had each time until we can progress to the next year. We took the next year on our taxes and did the same thing. We would just continue to grow. It can be done that way. It doesn't have to be done all at once. You don't have to have an abundance amount of money to do what we do, to sustain or to help your family survive. If you can find a fantastic sales, grab them sales. I will walk you through. If you have questions, ask me and I will teach you, or I will walk you through on how to do this or how to do that. Making your own foods, homemade foods takes time, but it's worth it because the price that you save in doing so goes a lot farther than going to the grocery store. The flavors are a whole lot better. You get pure vitamins and minerals more than you would going in and buying the freezer foods from the grocery store. But if you have to, you have to. If you have to get canned goods, you have to. Anything that you can do for yourself, do it. Nothing is impossible. As long as you're willing to work it, as long as you're willing to do what it takes, nothing is impossible. It takes time, it takes effort, and sometimes it does take money, but use it wisely. Take it slowly. Look, free pallets can build you some amazing, raised beds. They can build some amazing small boxes for herbs and seasonings. Free is good. Look around. You can turn swimming pools into garden beds. You don't have to be rich to do what we're doing. I will tell you again, I am far from rich, but I'm succeeding. Even through the times that things don't work out for me, I'm still succeeding, because if I can get, like I showed you, 2 jars to put on my shelf, that is 2 jars I don't have to pay for in a grocery store, and 2 jars that I can go to a resource and grab it when I need it. Every small step leads to greater. Every one at a time leads to more. I do this small step. Sometimes I get in abundance and I'll look back at myself and say, one day at a time, and look, I have succeeded. You're not alone. You are with somebody who doesn't have much, but I completely understand the struggles in life that you have. Some may not have struggles and you still want to learn. That's fantastic. I'm hoping that us as a homestead can help you enhance more into learning abilities, learning to feed your families healthier, gain more knowledge, and enjoy what you're doing. Every year is different. It's never the same. And even through my struggles, like I have recently showed you today, where my crops are just going to kaput in this heat and everything else, I still succeed though. Because if I can get a handful of vegetables, I'm putting that on my table, and I know I'm putting health in our bodies. It doesn't have to be grand. You don't have to be a major farmer. You can use a patio, you can use a balcony, you can use a portion of your land. You don't have to have the great. We have bought soil, cheap soil basically. Here in our town we get soil called Bacto, B-A-C-T-O, and I've used that. I have used cow manure, I have used black cow, inexpensive soils, and worked it. I've used fish emulsion or, inexpensive fertilizers. I've done what I can do. I take my entire dining room table and I've turned it into a nursery with green lights, starting my plants indoors. Yep, I've used my house as a greenhouse. And then I will take them outside, condition them, and we will set them out in the ground and pray for the best. Do what you can do, folks. And I'm hoping that as I continue to make more videos with you, that you learn, you feel the love that I have for you. I'm hoping that in some part of my small ways of being just real with you and who I am, this is it. You don't get nothing fake. This is me in real time. And I'm hoping that we can form a relationship, grow, succeed. And I would love to hear your stories. I would love to hear your testimonies. I would love to hear how maybe some little way I've helped you grow. In the meantime, until next time, God bless. I love you dearly. Parton's Heritage Homestead.